Hi guys, very good morning for everyone. So in the last video, we have just discussed about, or we have completed the magnetic properties in solid, right? So among those five magnetic properties, one magnetic property might be asked in your exam. So that's why be clear with those five properties, right? So today we will move to the last part of this chapter, that is electrical properties of solids. Electrical properties of solids. So you people are very well aware of these electrical properties of solids. Why? Because after studying these things only, you will move further into the physics. So right. So that means conductor, insulators, and the semiconductors, right? So there are the electrical property. That means the electrical property shown by the solid are of three types, right? First of all, they are of three types. So number one, conductors. You already know what are conductors. Second one, semiconductors, you can say, or else insulators. Semiconductors. And third one, insulators. See, these are the three properties shown by what are solids. So these three property, like first we will study about the conductors, right? No need to explain more about this. I thought like that. Why? Because these are you studied not only in the first year, in your lower classes also you have come across these things. So conductors are the substances which conducts the electricity, and which conductivity ranges from, see, conductors are, here we will give some extra definition in the solid state, right? So conductors are nothing but which conducts the electricity, of course, which conducts, these are the substances which conducts the electricity, and which has conductivity range from, and which has conductivity range from 10 raised to 4 to, sorry, 10 raised to 4 to 10 raised to 7 per ohm per meter, right? Which ranges from 10 raised to 4 to 10 raised to 7 per ohm per meter. Such substances are called as conductors. Why they conduct the electricity? Definitely, we will see during conductivity of solid based on the band theory. Later, we will discuss about this, right? So, for now, extent you just meanwhile you just try to know what are conductors. So, conductors are the substances which conducts the electricity, and which has a conductivity range from 10 raised to 4 to what? 10 raised to 7 per ohm per meter, are called as the conductors. Coming to insulators or semiconductors, you can take any one. Insulators. Insulators. Definitely, insulator means which do not conduct the electricity, or which do not passes the electricity through it, right? Which do not conduct, which do not conduct electricity, and which has conductivity range from 10 raised to minus 20 to 10 raised to minus 10 per ohm per meter. What? These are insulators which do not conduct the electricity. Why they do not conduct electricity? Because the forbidden gap between conduction band and the valence band. What is conduction band? Valence band. We will see. Right? You just see now. Insulators are nothing but the which do not conduct the electricity and which has a conductivity range from 10 raised to minus 20 to 10 raised to minus what 10. And finally, one we can say semiconductors. Semiconductor means they might conduct the electricity or might not conduct the electricity. It depends on the what its condition. Having a conductivity range, I mean semiconductors. These are the conductors. These are the solid substances which are having conductivity range from 10 raised to these are having a conductivity range from 10 raised to minus 6 to 10 raised to 4 per ohm per meter, right? Per ohm per meter are called semiconductors. That means sometimes they conduct the electricity or sometimes they won't conduct the electricity. It depends on the nature of reacting molecule, right? So semiconductors conductivity range will be from 10 raised to minus 6 to 10 raised to plus 4. That means it ranges not only in the negative form as well as in the positive form. So that's why sometimes it conducts the electricity, sometimes it not conduct the electricity. Why? Because the forbidden gap between valence band and the conduction band is very less, right? So these things one we can very easily understand in the next concept. I mean the concept is same about conductor, insulator as well as semiconductor, but the thing is conductivity of solid based on valence band theory. So in NCERT, this valence bond theory has been given very clearly, right? You can see. So conductivity of solid based on valence bond theory. That means why some of the things we call conductors, why some of the things are semiconductors, why some of the things are what insulators. One we can explain by this theory very easily. In this theory, there are two bands. You try to understand these two bands, then this theory will be very based on band theory, not valence band theory, based on just band theory, right? So there are two bands, right? One is valence band and one more is conduction band. The reason where electron are occupied more, right? The reason where electrons are occupied more. The reason where the electrons are occupied more is called as valence band, and this valence band is represented like this, right? This is called valence band. The reason where the electrons are more, you can say directly, where it is a reason where the probability of finding of electron is more, one we can say. So valence band is nothing but where the electrons are more. And one more is conduction band, where conduction band. So the reason where no electrons are occupied. That's all. The reason where no electrons are occupied. I mean, no electron space where we cannot find the electrons in such a type of bonds. That means in conduction type of bands. And here the conduction band can be represented empty box, right? There are no cross lines, right? So conduction, there are two bands. To understand this theory, we have to understand about the bands. There are two bands. One is valence band, where the probability of finding of electron is more, and one more is conduction band. Conduction band means where there is no electrons, right? So now, if I consider the three diagrams, then one we can identify what are these. Say this as a and there is overlapping of this is no electron means conduction band, and electron means valence band, and valence band as well as conduction bands are overlapping in some substances, right? Overlapping, I can write here overlapping. I think three diagrams are not possible for me. We will try once, right? This gap is called forbidden gap. Or forbidden space between again conduction band and the valence band. And say this as a B, right? And one more with a small forbidden gap, right? Between what conduction band and the valence band, small forbidden gap, and say this as a C. Now see here, these are the three arrangements one we can see in case of what are solids. If a solid is having its conduction band as well as valence band overlapping, then definitely see here, very important, valence band is nothing but what, where it has the electrons, or the site where we can get some electrons. Now if say this as a conduction band, that means where there is no electron. If on this no electron band, if I overlap the electron present band on it, then definitely what happens, the electron will move, or electron will be easily transferred to where, from here to here. Is it clear, right? Conduction band is not having electrons, but in first case, in A, what we have, we have a overlapped overlap type of diagram. So that means valence band is overlapping over conduction band. So that means the electron present in the valence band can very easily move towards what conduction band, and electricity can pass through. That means the A is example of what, conductor. In conductors, the arrangement of valence band and conduction band is like this. That means they are always overlapping. Because of overlapping, the electron is very easily moving towards the conduction band. One point. Coming to be understood. If you are not understood, please do ask questions, right? So why? Because I cannot say that you all are understanding or not. I don't know. But even though if you not get it, definitely you just ask me the doubts. So now here the case is different in B. what is the case? There is a big gap between the conduction band and the valence band. If there is a big gap between conduction band and the valence band, then the electron present in the conduction band will not transfer to what the electron present in the valence band will not transfer to what it conduction band. If they are not transferring, means what we can say, there is no, it do not conduct the electricity. If the substances, if they are not conducting the electricity, means what we can call them insulators. So in insulators we can see this type of arrangement because of forbidden gap is more between conduction band and the valence band. So that's why the electron present here in the valence bond are not completely transferring into what conduction band. So that's why electricity is not passing. So such examples are called as insulators. In case of semiconductors, directly I can say, see, there is a gap, but gap is not so far that the valence electron will not enter into the conduction band. This is not the case. The electron present in the valence band can sometime transfer. It depends on the nature and it depends on the what energy amount of energy we applied, right? If we have applied a more amount of energy, then it might come a little bit nearer to the conduction band, and in such condition they might be act as a conductors. And if we have applied a less amount of energy, then definitely this will not move little bit upper or this will not move little bit downer. Then what happens? The electrons present in this valence band will not transfer into what? This. And if they are not transferring, then sometime this act as what? Insulators. So that's why altogether one we can call this as a semiconductors. So dear students, with this our solid state is over, and in the next class what I thought is we will complete that F block elements, and please do comment me how many questions we have solved in F block, so that I can continue from then on, right? So this is, you just comment me how much syllabus is, how many questions we have solved during last offline class, right? So with this we will conclude this class, and this is all about your solid state. If some of the concepts are missing out, means please go through the books and till our offline classes starts. When you come to know I have skipped some of the concepts, means, and I am sure that I have not skipped, but also sometimes it happens. If I have skipped any concepts, then please do aware me or inform me, so that when we can explain during coming classes. Okay? So with this we will conclude in the solid state as well as this class also. In the next class I will continue the next part of F block. Please do comment me how many questions we have solved.